Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm playing along with Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches and using my counterfeit kit challenge. So that's lovely. I'll have 30 Days of Sketches linked below, and the sketch for 30 Days of Sketches for day 19 is this one from Martha Barnett, which is a double page layout, and actually stick pretty close to this one today. So I pulled out these pictures that I have of my youngest, and this is on the same day that I did for the layout for last Friday. And so that's this layout, and I wanted to do something similar but not have the wash all the way up. So I wanted that wash to be those two strips that Martha has on hers. So I'm just really just measuring it out, and I'm using my ruler just because it gives me a straight line to look at when I'm doing the wash. So I'm using these watercolor paints, and these I got from a friend who used up all of the colors that she really liked to use, and she's like, hey, you use this kind of stuff, and gave it to me eons ago. So I've had this one for quite a while, and yeah, so this is how I did the watercolor wash on my page from Friday. That one doesn't have a process, but this is what I wanted to do on this one now, so that works out anyway. So I'm doing it more like almost like an ombre effect, and so right now it looks really different, but as it dries, those two colors meld a little bit more, and you really do get like an ombre kind of effect to it. And then that line that you see for the pencil, I am going to erase here after everything dries. So I'm literally just putting some water down, putting the color on. I keep adding a bit of water onto the palette so that watercolor is wet, and done. Easy peasy background. So I'm going to put this aside to dry. I thought I could probably get some of that pencil line up with my eraser, but it was a little wet and I didn't want to rip my page. This paper comes in a 12 by 18, and it's actually mixed media paper, so it does warp a little bit, but not as much as my regular cardstock would. And so now I'm just cutting down these pictures. We're on a hike in Lougheed Provincial Park by one of the Kananaskis lakes, and there's a waterfall on part of the hike where you could go all the way around the lake. We don't go all the way around the lake because that's, I think that's a 10-kilometer hike, but this is a couple, and my kids like to see the waterfall, so. And then this was a leftover piece from the last Friday, from the rice paper, and so I tried to use my cutting tool, but it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. And then I decided that I wanted the circle to be a little bit bigger, so I opened up the sheet to see what else I could use. And so there's this piece here, and all I'm going to do, which I should have done in the first place with the other one, is dip this tool, which it has both a needle and a score part on it. I'm just dipping it in the water that I used for my watercolor, and then tearing it really quickly and not putting very much on it. The rest of it will dry, but it works pretty good. Excuse me. So this just takes me a minute to do, which is not too bad. And this will be almost ready to go. I'm going to put that across to dry, and then I'm going to bring up my paper, and then this is going to go in that circle spot that Martha has on hers. And you can see the color underneath, and I like that with this, so it works out pretty good. It means I don't really have a spot to put my journaling, but that's okay. I don't really need a lot of journaling on this page, so. And just using some glue. If I really wanted it to be on straight, I would have used a wash with the glue and put some water in my glue, but it doesn't really bother me, so. And then I'm going to put some rub-ons on. So these rub-ons are from my kit as well, in my reuse or use your stash freeze challenge for the month. And so I used them on Friday's page, and I'm going to get some more on this page. So I'm going to get these two on and these two tags take the place of the two banners at the top, because I didn't have banners on there, but I thought this would work pretty well. And if you can hear the dog food in the background, it is morning on one of these days, and my husband's feeding our dog. So just pulling that up. I'm going to cut the rest off because I don't really need it, because I didn't want them to be, I wanted them to be staggered and not straight. And so I did all the rubbing for the darker one off camera, and then looking through these again. These are basic grade. They are older than old. And then I found this circle piece that actually mimics the circle piece on Martha's sketch really well. So I was going to top and bottom, and I'm going to get these ones on. So I'll jump ahead here in a second. Both of those are on now. And then I am going to cut some more out, lay them out. I won't make you watch me rub the rest of them on. Excuse me. So I'm trying to put in a dark green, a yellow, and like some other kinds of colors here, just to tie in all the places. So those are pretty cute. I felt like that green flower needed a little bit of something else. This green one's going to go up at the top. And then I'm going to rub these on and not make you watch it. So all of that is now on. And so I'm going to focus on getting rid of that pencil line, because now it's all dry. Didn't make you watch that because it took me probably a couple minutes to do that. And then I'm going to map my photos in black just to make them pop. It also ties in a little bit of the black in the rice paper in the circle. And then, so I'm only doing about 1/8 of an inch all the way around for photo mats, because why not? Just double checking. My photos are not quite 4x6. They're 4 across, but the 6 is not a 6. So it's just shy. So I'm just taking off the little bit because it looked a little long, and I didn't want it to be. And then these are same thing, but for my 4x4s. And then get them all glued and put in place. So that top picture, they're both looking both ways. So I wanted that at the top so they could look at the next page and at the like that inside one. So they're looking at both of the pages. Yeah. So I like mini scrapbookers. I like it when my people on my page or my subjects are looking into the page or to the next page if the next page is part of the series. So just means that your subject's not looking off the page. And then on the sketch, this was Martha's was not lined up at the top, but mine is going to be. And I just eyeballed that instead of playing around with it. And then these metal pieces were on that other layout, so I'm going to put a couple of these on. So the top square one says adventure, and then the bottom rectangle tag one says relax, and we're on holiday, so that works. And then this is some twine from the 49 in Market kit that I've added into my counterfeit kit this month. And so tying that off, it looks super cute. thought about the top there for a second, but I have the tags going the other way, and I wanted to add some of this yellow there, and I thought it would be too distracting to have all three of them there and one go a wonky way or a different way. I thought it would look wonky. So I'm just using my staple to attach these because they were rub-ons and I didn't want to put a hole in my paper to tie. Like, it just didn't make sense. I could have put them on like other paper first and then had them as an actual tag, but I didn't want to. And then I thought about doing a mixed font title for like half a second, and then I took this out and then went, no, I don't know. So I didn't even get over to the page. I was like, no. And then, so I'm going to title this, Let's Go for a Hike. And I'm putting it in the same spot that Martha has on hers, which is perfect. And doing this little apostrophe. It is not actually apostrophe. It is the inside bit of, I think the Q. It was like an inside bit. So, but it was right shape. So I was like, yep, that will work. And then I didn't have enough room. So off screen, I moved stuff all over to put it in the right spot. And I'm just going to write underneath this picture, Peter Lougheed Provincial Park. I'll probably date it later too when I know the date. This is probably 2018, I would think, looking at the size of EB. But and then I was like, oh right, there's bees on this one. So I pulled out my 49 and mark it. I thought I was actually done, but I was like, no, it needs the bees. And I'm really glad I put the bees on it. I love them. They're so cute. I would buy a whole package of these, just the bees, from 49 and Market. And my youngest is RB. She's very, very busy. And she pointed out the bees right away and was like, oh, I love the bees. So I got to keep putting bees on stuff. So, but it works well for this outside layout too. So super, super cute. I really, really like this one. If you liked my layout, I would love a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. I do respond to comments, so if you have a question or just a comment, I am always excited to see what everybody says. And there'll be some other videos here. I'll also link Christy's playlist for Christy's Beautiful Life for the 30 Days of Sketches below. I don't have any links for Martha, so I won't link Martha, but if Martha has a link, I would love to add it. And thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate you being here. Have yourself a great day.